saw a meme once that said meal prep is great for when you want food that's slightly cold, a little old, and something you're not in the mood for. And honestly, I kind of agree with that. But this week is so busy and so packed that I had to meal prep something really healthy, something that had a ton of protein in it, something that I would really enjoy, something fresh, something warm, and protein. So this is what I made, everything for meal prep this week. The first thing I'm going to meal prep today is this Feta Tzatziki sauce. It's a Greek yogurt sauce that has cucumbers and feta cheese. It's very high in protein and it is so good on everything. I'm going to start by grating about 4 inches of English cucumber into a bowl. Now here's a trick is after I grate up the cucumber, I put it on the other side of the grater that I'm using to just push and squeeze all of that water from the cucumber out. We don't want all of this excess water in our tzatziki sauce because otherwise it will be a little too watery. So that cucumber juice, I'm just going to discard and then I'm going to use the shredded grated cucumber and put it in my container. Now I'm adding the juice of half a lemon into my cucumbers, and I love that fresh lemon, but if you don't have fresh lemon, you can also use true lemon, those little crystallized lemon packets that I use all the time. Next, I'm adding half a cup of some whole milk Greek yogurt to the lemon and cucumber, and I really want to mix this in quickly because I don't want the yogurt sitting just straight in that lemon juice for a long time. Otherwise, it can start to curdle. So I'm just using about half a cup here and mixing that in really well so then the yogurt does not curdle. Now this part is optional, but I really love feta cheese. So I'm adding about a 1/4 cup of feta cheese crumbles to the sauce with just a little bit of salt and pepper, and I love this electric pepper grinder. It saves my hands when cooking. And I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic powder, but you can also use fresh garlic if you want. You have to have oregano, and I like a little bit of a kick, so I'm doing some crushed red pepper flakes and then some dried dill. You can also use fresh, but I just always use what I have on hand. Now I mix this all up and then that's it. This sauce goes so well over rice, roasted potatoes, roasted vegetables with chicken, fish, shrimp, and oh, I did forget this lemon zest that I was going to put in earlier. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of lemon zest because it adds a really nice fresh flavor as well. But you just mix this up, put it in the fridge, and it will keep all week to put over anything. The next thing we're making is a super easy and incredibly fresh and delicious quick Greek salad. I love anything Greek or Mediterranean, so stuff like this just makes me so happy. I'm going to start by cutting up the rest of the cucumber that we used for the tzatziki sauce. And if you want to use more cucumber, you can. However, I don't like to prep too much of this salad because you don't want the vegetables to get soggy and kind of old and gross. So right here, I'm using about 3/4 of an English cucumber, and then I'm just doing 1 Roma tomato because tomatoes are honestly not my favorite vegetable. So I just have 1 in here that I'm going to do in bite-sized pieces. However, if you like tomato or if you like more of any of these ingredients, you can add or omit any of them. Next, we're doing a bell pepper, just a green one. If you want to do different colors, you can. It's really pretty to do all sorts of different colors. I also don't love purple onion, but I feel like you have to have it in this salad and it just makes it really fresh and delicious. If you don't like onion, then obviously just leave it out. I get a lot of comments saying like, oh, I don't like this ingredient. Well, that's totally fine. Just leave it out. Especially in a salad, it's like just make whatever you like. Now I'm adding all of these ingredients into a bowl, and I was going to just put this all in this one Tupperware because I thought it would fit in there in my fridge, but then I quickly discovered that it was going to be too small to mix everything in. So I pivoted and we just put it in a large bowl to mix it in. To this, I'm adding some banana peppers and some kalamata olives. I don't know if the banana peppers are really authentic, I'm sure it's not, but I love banana peppers, so I just add as many as I can. Now I'm going to make just a really quick vinaigrette dressing by using some extra virgin olive oil and a couple tablespoons of red wine vinegar. Probably about 2 tablespoons of oil and 3 or 4 tablespoons of red wine vinegar, along with the juice of 1/2 of a lemon. And then I'm also going to add some feta in here as well. This is probably about a 1/4 cup. You can omit this if you like, but like I said, love feta. Next, we'll add just a couple shakes of some oregano. I'm guessing about a teaspoon of that, and then some freshly cracked black pepper. If you don't want to make a vinaigrette like this homemade, you can also just use your favorite store-bought marinade or Italian or Greek dressing. The Olive Garden one is really good, but I already have all these ingredients on hand, so I just like doing it like this. In real time, this took only about 6 minutes to put all together from start to finish, and it was really inexpensive, but fresh and healthy and delicious. This will keep in the fridge for about a week, and I'm excited to just eat this alongside every meal because it's just an easy put together salad. You can also add other ingredients to your liking, like salami or pepperoni or other vegetables, and I know you're going to love it. For the carb, I am making this incredibly delicious and easy lemony orzo pasta. It's a little bit creamy, it's a little citrusy, a tiny bit spicy, and it has some vegetables mixed in, so it's so good. I'm going to start by just boiling off 1.5 cups of orzo pasta in some generously salted water. It only cooks for about 8 to 9 minutes and it's pretty inexpensive, so I really like cooking with orzo. Orzo is just a rice-shaped pasta. It's a little bit longer than traditional rice, but it's pasta and it's so good. While I'm waiting for the orzo pasta to cook, I just added a bunch of baby spinach in this bowl, and I'm not going to cook the spinach since I know that this is going to be keeping in the fridge for a week and it's going to get warmed up. So I am just using the residual heat of the cooked orzo pasta to kind of help wilt down that baby spinach. I also added about 2 tablespoons of butter for flavor and richness, and a dash of crushed red pepper flakes for some spice. You don't have to add this if you don't like spicy stuff, but I like spicy stuff in everything. I also added about 2 or 3 tablespoons of half and half, but you could also use heavy cream, and some salt and pepper. I'm mixing this up and wilting down that spinach just a little bit, and I understand it's going to be about 80% cooked, but that's okay with me. But if you want it to be like completely wilted and totally cooked, just add that baby spinach into the cooked orzo pasta on the stove with a little bit of that starchy pasta water, and then you can cook it down to your liking. I'm also adding the juice of half of a fresh lemon and mixing that in really well. I'm finishing it off with some fresh Parmesan cheese. This adds some flavor, some cheesiness, and some saltiness. And I'm gonna be honest, I just made this recipe up as I went along because I had all these ingredients in my fridge and pantry and I thought they would taste delicious together. And it was so good. My only regret here is that I didn't make more orzo because we ran out and it was so good. The next thing I'm prepping are 5 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Now, if I was actually really good at meal prepping, I probably would have marinated these overnight or at least for a couple hours with some olive oil, oregano, some lemon juice, kind of those similar flavors that we've put into the salad and the tzatziki sauce. However, my kids and my husband are also going to use this meal prep chicken for salads, for lunches, for just little snacks throughout the week. So I'm seasoning it very generically so then it can be used for any type of use. I already patted this side down with a paper towel to just dry it off as much as possible, and I've also let these sit out on the counter for about 1.5 hours before I'm seasoning, so then they're not ice cold when we go to cook them. These chicken breasts are going to be very simply seasoned with some Redmond real salt, some fresh cracked pepper, and some garlic powder. And this pepper grinder is honestly incredible. It saves my wrists when I'm doing a big cook day like today when I have a lot of things going on. I love the light, I love that it's rechargeable, and that I don't have to crank it myself. I preheated my griddle pan on my stove on medium heat, and I greased it with just some olive oil spray. Then I'm going to lay my seasoned chicken breast seasoned side down because I only seasoned one side, and I'm going to just sear these for a couple minutes per side until they get some good color and they're not burnt. I didn't show this part, but after they are cooking on one side for a couple of minutes and before I season the other side, I just use a couple paper towels to pat the tops of the unseasoned side of the chicken down so then it's as dry as possible. Then I will go in and add my salt, pepper, and garlic powder on the other side. I prefer to do it this way because when the chicken is searing on that one side, it tends to kind of have liquid pool up on the top, and I don't want my seasonings to be leaching the water out of the chicken as well, making it wet, because then we are not going to get a great sear on the other side and it will just steam. After the chicken has seared for a couple minutes on both sides and has good color, I'm actually just going to throw these chicken breasts in a preheated air fryer that's at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, or until the internal temperature of the chicken reaches a minimum of 155 to 160 degrees. After they come out of the air fryer at about 160, they will rise to 165 while they're resting. You can put these cooked chicken breasts in a container and then put them in the fridge and then cut them up as you need them throughout the week. But for my purposes today, I'm going to let them cool and rest for about 10 to 15 minutes first, and then I'm going to cut them up so then I can put them in my meal prep boxes. Now it's time to box everything up and make everything come together. You can leave your chicken breasts in a container like this, but I like to just cut everything up and have it ready to go for the week. It does dry out a little bit when it's in the fridge for so long, so sometimes when you reheat it, it's good to just add a little bit of water or broth or some sauce on top of it. I'm going to start by adding 3 1/4 ounces of the Orzo Pasta to my meal prep containers. These meal prep containers are amazing. I get them at Costco or Sam's Club, but you can also purchase them online or on Amazon. And they're so convenient because they stack really easily, they're easy to clean, and they're dishwasher safe. Next, I'm using my Smart Food scale that I purchased on Amazon to measure out about 5 ounces of chicken. This scale is amazing because I just add the food onto my phone, and then it tells the scale what I'm measuring, and then it tells me the macros and the nutrition facts directly on the scale. That way you can add in whatever amount you want to hit whatever macro you want. For me this week, I really wanted to hit about 50-ish grams of protein for this one bowl of food, so I wanted to do that much chicken. It looks like this was my test recording, so I actually did not record the rest of the chicken getting measured, but we have our boxes here, and that is all I'm putting in here. Because these are going to get warmed up, I'm not putting my vegetable salad in here, and I'm just going to add the lids. And then when I'm ready to eat, I can microwave these boxes and then add a good helping of the vegetable salad on the side, along with that tzatziki sauce. Some other things I prepped for this week were some steaks that I seared and seasoned with just kosher salt on both sides. And as you can see, I'm seasoning it the same way I did the chicken by just salting it on one side, searing it down on that side, and then patting it with a paper towel and then seasoning that side right before I flip it because I don't want any of that steam and that moisture before I flip. I portioned the steak and the zucchini in some separate meal prep bowls, and my kids also ate those throughout the week as well. But those are just a couple things that I meal prepped this week. This meal comes in at about 50 grams of protein. It has 5 ounces of chicken, a little under half a cup of the Orzo pasta with the lemon and spinach, and then I put a really healthy, generous serving of the vegetables. I don't really track the protein and carbs and all that with the vegetables because it's just vegetables with a little bit of vinegar on it. This entire meal costs $3.33 for me to make, just including about $10 worth of chicken, about $5 each to make the vegetable salad and the Orzo pasta salad, or pasta, I don't know what you call it, but this is way, way better than going out to eat every single day. It has a ton of protein, and since we're gonna be in and out going from thing to thing this week, I can grab one of these for dinner or for lunch, and it will be super satisfying. If you like this video, make sure you watch this one next, and if you like these meal prep videos, just let me know and I'll make some more. Have a good week, bye.